of these days, just to troll everyone, I should do the intro, but completely in French.
Okay, do it.
Not today, but
Do it.
I can do some of it in French. So if you vocabulary you gotta
Hello. Thank you for joining us this Wednesday evening here at the Dark Side. I am Paul. This is Eric. That is Rose, and that is Brian.
Hey!
I'm not here.
Yes, you
He's
are.
not there.
Don't look at me.
I'm here.
Well, they won't look at you, but they'll hear you.
Always here.
Yeah, so we got some new releases this week, a lot of good stuff, and then we've got a bunch of old stuff and some interesting old stuff.
Yes, we had more time this week, so we actually got a lot of new issues. This is, I think, the most we've had in a good bit.
Yeah. It's nice because Rose has been able to help read some of these books to keep us informed.
I've learned how to read.
Yes.
And we appreciate her for reading some of these, because Paul and I
I don't have the time. I get home Tuesday nights at like 8 or 9, and I can only read so many before I have to go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get home earlier than that, but I don't get to start reading till 10 o'clock, so...
On Tuesday nights at like 11.
Brian.
It's my phone.
Brian, the guy who isn't here.
Yeah,
All right. Well, shall we get started? Do we have anything? Any announcements? No, nothing? Okay.
We don't. It's a regular day.
It's a regular day. All right. Well, let's get started right up here with Justice League The Last Ride #1, written by Chip Zdarsky. Store favorite.
Yeah.
It's really good. It reminds me a lot of like the good Justice League stories.
Damn.
I don't really want to give too much away, but the Justice League has disbanded. Batman and Superman are not getting along to the point where they are cursing at each other.
I think this is like a prequel to Future State.
It's pretty awesome. Lobo is in it.
I love Lobo.
Yeah. Several Green Lanterns are in it.
Any that I like?
I don't know.
Okay. That's fair.
Um,
I like Green Lanterns. Okay,
It's-
Rose?
I mean, just buy it. It's really good. If you like Justice League, it's really good. It's the best Justice League I've read in a long time, and it's only been one issue.
Wow. Glowing.
Yes. Although I do not like the cover art.
Yeah, it's a little...
Like, look at how bad Batman looks.
Yeah. Who's the artist on that? Just on. Is it just the cover?
The cover is Derek.
Is it actually
Derek?
Alfred? Looks kind of
Wait,
scrawny.
is it Derek Roberts?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just in a box, Derek.
Darick?
Yeah.
Could be him.
But I mean, the cover art kind of reminds me of like those late 90s, like the Grant Morrison era, where it's not great art, but like the story is really good.
Okay.
Yes. So highly recommended. Looking forward to it. Next up, Silver Coin. Surprisingly, everybody that read it loved it. I loved it.
Yeah, I liked it because it feels like a subversion on some of the usual slasher tropes.
Yeah, definitely. It is a straight up slasher. Silver Coin, again, being the Chip Zdarsky headed anthology series following almost like a monkey paw type Silver Coin.
Mm-hmm.
This is the regular cover. And, the
And
B
Michael
cover.
Walsh does the art on all the issues, but the writers are different.
Yeah. The little girl loves horror movies, gets sent to a summer camp, and
Gets bullied by her cabin.
gets bullied by her cabin mates, and gruesomeness happens. And it's fantastic.
Oh, it's so good.
I had flashbacks to my childhood at moments of like the bullying.
That's kind of scary.
Yeah.
The bullying part, not
Well,
Sure. One
Sure.
knows, but still.
not some of the other stuff that happened. But
Reminds me of hanging out at Camp Crystal Lake.
Yeah. Yeah. If you, first off, both issues have been really good so far. So I would definitely recommend jumping on it. And this issue, if you like slashers, it's fantastic.
this is Kelly Thompson,
Yeah.
who did really good work here. Also, I think the title is a reference to a Don Henley song, which made me laugh.
Girls of Summer, yeah.
Yeah. I was just like, Great title.
Next up was Guardians of the Galaxy. Eric?
This book continues to be fantastic. Al Ewing continues to be one of my favorite Marvel writers. There is, I'm not going to spoil what it is. I say this a lot, but the last page of this book nearly like made me laugh my butt off because something gets said that I expected to get said, but the way it happens is more ridiculous and bizarre than anything I could have expected. I kind of like that he sort of, because there's such a large cast, there's two teams of Guardians who are one larger unit, but they're sort of working as two smaller teams. I think that's the best way to handle the cast that he has, because this cast is massive. But it's great. I'm also happy because this is not a Doombot. It is very clear that that's not a Doombot.
Okay.
And it makes me very happy that it's not.
Is it a clone?
No, it's him. Which is weird considering this week's FF comes out at the same time, but this book is better than the current Fantastic Four book anyways, so I'm not too mad about it.
Next up is the 4th issue of Black Hammer Visions, the Black Hammer anthology series.
I forgot to read this one.
This
How was
week's
it?
is Mariko Tamaki.
Mariko Tamaki.
That's yeah. It was very good. It's if you haven't read any Black Hammer before, and this series was your only reference, this issue would make no sense. It's very on par with like the meta aspect of the bigger Black Hammer story. It's pretty bizarre, but I still really enjoyed it.
That's good.
Like the characters were great. So, yeah. Next up, Carmen. Carmen, issue number 3. I'm still very much enjoying this book. I don't know how many issues it runs, but this is definitely the darkest of the 3 so far. Very sincere, very touching, but man, it ends on a dark, like sad note.
Aww.
But the artwork is gorgeous.
When the first issue came out, you read it and you were like, "This one's gonna hurt."
Yeah, yeah. It's just like, oof.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's really good, really, really good. Eric, tell us about the next 2.
Okay, so this first one might be my book of the week. It's tied with Festival of Heroes, I would say. But Hyperion and the Imperial Guard was fantastic. It's sort of, in some ways, a love letter to the old Legion of Superheroes stories. They were clearly trying to go for Dave Cockrum's stuff in some ways, but the dialogue, the narration was very Paul Levitz, so it was a little muddled in that respect, but great story. And what I loved about this is that the comic treated itself like it was a comic from another universe. There's an editor's note for previous issues of Hyperion and the Imperial Guard that don't actually exist in our world. But I just think that's so cool. There's also a fake letters column.
Mm-hmm.
And the Starjammers backup was just so fun. I'm happy when Scott Summers gets to have a good day, and he gets to have a good day in that backup, so it was nice.
So what's the premise behind the Heroes Reborn?
So Heroes Reborn is something happened. We still don't know what, or even have any inkling of what happened, that created a new world where the Avengers never happened, and instead
they never found Captain America.
That's one of the things. Yeah. But all the characters, Jen Walters, for example, is a lawyer, but she's not green. Thor doesn't really believe in gods. He still is a god, but he's sort of given up on that, and he never picked up the hammer.
Well, that kind of issue 1 kind of changes.
Tony Stark never repented for being a jerk.
And he's a huge gun dealer.
Yes. He's like...
And apparently he has like a bar or a casino.
Yep. But, so in addition to that, this is also, what if the Marvel Universe was a below the surface kind of messed up version of the DC Universe? Because the heroes that take the Avengers' place are the Squadron Supreme, who were originally created as a Justice League pastiche. And they seem like everything seems like it's the more idyllic view of the DC universe at first, but as we go deeper into each of the issues, things take more of a less obvious take. I mean, Hyperion and the Imperial Guard has a heartbreaking ending to the main story. I would recommend, if you are someone who has both this and Heroes Reborn 2, read this first, because it makes something that happens in Heroes Reborn 2 make a little more sense. So it gives more context.
Which we would have Heroes Reborn 2 up here, but we sold out of it. We had like 3 damaged copies that came in yesterday.
Yeah.
And I did read that one. And it
We
was good.
might have a variant cover, but I don't
think so. I think we were gone 2 hours ago.
Yeah. The other one is Peter Parker, The Amazing Shutterbug, which is, what if Peter Parker was Jimmy Olsen? This is a less wholesome story than that might sound, but it's still interesting. It sort of sees his technological skills used more for photography than superhero stuff. Try not to say too much, because this one I can't really say a lot without giving it away.
Okay.
But
I do like he's in issue number 2, and he has a relationship with Hyperion where, like, at least in that issue, because I know we talked about it, and he's different in this one, where he's like, he thinks like Hyperion is his best friend, just like Jimmy Olsen and Superman, but then like Hyperion's just like, it's like, I wish this kid would leave me alone, sort of thing, which is pretty funny.
yeah, things are a little more complicated than that, but I liked both issues. I definitely felt that Hyperion and the Imperial Guard was a better issue, because I like that it leaned into some of the more meta aspects.
The Alan Moore 1963 series that was never finished.
Yeah. But both were a good read, Always happy to see more from Mark Bernardin, who wrote Amazing Shutterbug, so I enjoyed reading both.
In the Heroes Reborn, we're going to be getting more of number 1 and 2.
We are, yes.
Okay. And those are coming out weekly, or
they are weekly? Yes, weekly. Each issue is weekly, and then there's like 2 or 3 extra.
There's also like a checklist in the issue that
There
says like which titles are tied in, which
Mhm.
is helpful.
So the way I think they're doing it is, it appears that each of the Heroes Reborn issues is going to be focusing on a specific squadron member.
Right.
So the tie-ins are going to be more focused on that squadron member, which is why both of these are very Hyperion related. Also, hi, Christian.
Yeah.
Hey, Christian.
Oh, hey, Christian, I found an old Marvel magazine with the Punisher on the front. I set it aside for you.
We also have some stuff with Punisher on the front tonight.
Yes, we do. All right, well, next up, issue 3 of Proctor Valley Road from Grant Morrison. Really, really been liking this. I think I'm the only one who read it this week.
Yeah, I only read the first one.
It's getting more gruesome, more crazy. Witches, deserts, monsters. It's very, very good. And it's fun because it feels like it was meant to be like a young adult story, but they're just throwing curse words and violence everywhere.
PG-13.
Like the artwork is very like young adult, but like the content is not. So it's really fun. I'm really enjoying it.
So it's more what young adults' lives tend to actually be like, rather than content made
Sure,
for
if it
them.
involves witches and monsters.
Maybe not the monsters part, but I think there are plenty
Yeah.
of young adults where
Yeah, no,
witchcraft
it's
is
like,
involved.
the kids are, stealing cars and smoking.
Some of them are.
Wasn't my youth, but maybe yours. I don't know.
Not mine personally, but I know plenty of people who fit that bill.
All right. Doing all that just to get Janis Joplin tickets. All right. Time Before Time. I did not read this.
This was a great time.
I read this.
Oh, Roger.
Yeah, I also read it. It was very good. I've been talking about a bunch of books. I want to hear Rose's thoughts.
I really enjoyed it. Out of the 7 or 8 that I read this week, that's like number 3 for me.
Okay. Pretty high up for me too.
It's pretty interesting as far as like setting up this story of a guy who works for a big corporation and helps relocate people, but rather than distance and like locations, he puts them in different points of time, and people pay a lot of money for that. And
I got the sense that it was a criminal organization, not a.
well,
We'll see.
what corporation isn't?
You're you're right. Well, we're not a corporation in the sense that
well,
we mean.
And then one of the interesting things is,
I do like the bit where the kid's like, "No Wi-Fi."
yeah,
Yeah,
They're in the
I
Um,
relate to that.
That's good.
it's pretty ruthless risk assessment. It's like, is it worth the cost and the danger to like go pick up stranded agents and stuff, kind of a thing. But it's very, very interesting so far. New character introduced in the last couple of panels. Looks like it's going to be very kind of interesting, like not like a buddy cop thing, but it's like, oh, we both hate each other.
Yeah,
but we
definitely.
don't- it's also pretty emotional. Like there was a point where I was like, I care a lot about this character that I've only read about for a few pages.
I agree. One thing I really like is that this sort of goes into the physical toll that constant time travel takes on a person.
Mhm.
I don't see a lot of stories deal with that.
No.
I read the first few pages.
I don't see a
I
lot of
read where he
stories.
was nauseous and
Yeah, that.
possibly irradiated.
You don't see a lot of stories deal with that, at least ones that I've read. So it was nice to see. It's a cool little touch.
Mhm.
Because it sort of takes the like, I want to get out of this crummy job, like, but applies it to weird time travel nonsense.
Yeah, the protagonist, he's like the postmodern everyday man kind of thing.
He has a debt and he's trying to pay it off. And
Yeah.
then they're like, "No, your machine is busted, therefore you can't do it. You can't finish
Mm-hmm.
what you were trying to do.
Which made me, yeah, it, felt
So
very.
you're stuck in debt for
Yeah,
Your
a determinate
machine is
amount of
busted.
time."
I liked it.
Yeah, it was good.
Next up is Silver City, not Silver Coin, Silver City. Number one, I enjoyed it. Rose didn't.
Correct.
And what do you say, Rose? You've seen it before.
Seen it before.
Yeah, it's good. I like the artwork. It's a bunch of people die. It's a take on the afterlife. It's very bureaucratic and very classist, sense. I mean, it's the first issue. We haven't really gotten too much into it yet. But if you're into that sort of, like, visually, like, it kind of feels like the movie Dark City.
It's very Dark City,
Yeah.
but also kind of Coco
Yeah.
a little bit.
Wild.
It's
The cartoon.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's Dark City with some, neon clubs. I enjoyed it. I know it's not for everyone. It's not very upbeat yet, but our main character has some sort of superpowers that will
But possibly, yeah.
post-mortem superpowers.
Mhm.
Yeah. If it sounds like it's up your alley, then pick it up. Next up, X-Core.
Yep. I'm required to talk about this book. It's the rules. I am the ex-correspondent for the
I
show.
read it too.
Did you say X-Correspondent?
Yes.
Very good.
I liked it. I didn't love it as much as some of the previous X number ones, but it was good. It was so it's Angel, Monet, Jamie Madrox, and Trinary are the main cast of the book. Trinary is a more recent character who I'm not super familiar with, though I know she was in Tom Taylor's X-Men Red, which I've been told I have to read. So they're basically starting more economic interests for Krakoa, but whereas the Hellfire Trading Corporation is more like East India Trading Company kind of stuff, this is more like modern corporate boardroom kind of things. And I appreciate that the rich characters are not portrayed as particularly sympathetic in this book, even the ones we are supposed to root for are not always portrayed as being good necessarily. I appreciate that about it. Like I said, I didn't like this one as much as Children of the Atom number 1 or Way of X number 1, but I still enjoyed it. It's Teenie Howard, and I always loved Teenie Howard. I think the characters were the best part of the book. The plot was take it or leave it at times, but I quite enjoyed it.
Yeah, Tony doesn't think it sounds very good either.
I'm excited to see where it goes, though.
Evil corporate mutant.
Interesting cast of characters.
Yeah.
For heading up a corporation. I mean, could you think of anybody else like from the X-Men who would be a better leader for this kind of thing?
Maybe Emma, but she's already busy with a different company.
Mm-hmm.
Monet is like the perfect character for this book, I think.
Mhm.
And I kind of appreciate that Warren, despite the fact that I do not always have sympathy for Warren Kenneth Worthington III, he is the sort of rich person we're supposed to empathize a little more because he's trying to be a good guy while being corporate. But this book sort of takes the stance that that's not really a thing that you can do.
Okay.
Jamie's here.
Hey, Jamie.
Next up is House of Lost Horizons, the latest out of Mike Mignola's Outerverse. Rose loved this.
Loved it.
I liked it a good bit. I didn't love it, but I did really enjoy it.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
1920s whodunits.
Uh,
Yes, that is my thing.
I mean,
cut off from the rest of the world, 10 Little Indian
in
style.
a review of this I wrote for some of my friends, I opened it with, as a person who falls asleep listening to Sherlock Holmes mysteries, of course I liked this. Like I said, I didn't love it, but I did quite like it. It was worth my time.
It was so atmospheric and lovely, and I thought that it was just like an illustrated Agatha Christie.
Mhm.
Yes.
Hi, Andrew.
So good.
Yeah. It's definitely got like a more lively Miss Marple feel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, these people kind of cut off, like you said, and like these archetypical
Mm-hmm.
people there for mysterious reasons and such.
Yes.
Oh, so good.
They're there for an auction of supernatural items.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there's going to be some.
But there's been a murder.
Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be some deep cut to something Hellboy that I'm not going to get, and Paul's going to be like.
Well, that's the thing with all of these Outerverse is like there's always some little like connection to.
I'm sure there's going to be
Hellboy
something
things.
in a later issue where Paul's going to be like, and I'm going to be like, what?
Maybe we'll see. We will see. But yeah, if you like whodunits, this is yeah.
But with magic.
What with magic?
Well, there's no magic yet.
Who means Hellboy?
With magic implications.
Not even. It's very Agatha Christie.
That's fair.
Next up is Geiger #2. I really like this. The first issue was basically like post-apocalyptic, and there's this rumored mythological glowing man out in the desert scaring away all the scavengers. And this one focuses on a family trying to get a better life, and they get lost out in like the desert with people after them.
That's unfortunate.
And it was very good. It's very, very good world building from
That's
Jeff
good.
Johns. It's a cool character design. It's a cool character. I'm really liking it. So, post-apocalyptic, radioactive superhero that glows.
Is that Jeff Johns' first work with Image? He's been under the DC
Yeah,
thumb.
I think it
That
might
sounds
be.
right.
I don't know.
No. Black Hammer Visions #2.
That is Dark Horse.
Oh, I'm bad at companies. Sorry.
It's all right.
Yeah.
What's our last new book of the week?
I'm gonna show both of these covers because they're both great. So this is the Festival of Heroes, the Asian Superhero Celebration. This is a 100-page giant. Here's the art germ cover of Cassandra Cain, who is one of my favorite characters of all time. I really love this. Almost all of the stories were great. It features characters who I haven't seen in a book in ages. We had Connor Hawke. We had Keenan Kong, who's the new Superman. I found out that Leanne Harper, who is Roy Harper's daughter, is alive again in this continuity. After she got murdered in James Robinson's worst comic he ever wrote. We had Ryan Choi, we had Katana. This was just a really good book. I loved it. I'm not going to go into every story because there's like about a dozen shorter stories, and all of them are great. But one key feature of this is that it introduces a new character. Jean Luen Yang, who is a really good writer, introduces a new character called the Monkey Prince, who is based off the Monkey King, who is
Okay, that's what I thought. I didn't.
Yeah, sort of based on that story.
That folklore, that mythology.
Yeah.
He's
Pretty
implied.
ancient.
Mhm.
kind of a thing.
He's implied to be the son of the Monkey King, but he doesn't agree with that statement when other people say it. I like the character, and this is leading to an ongoing, so it's possible this could end up
That's
being
interesting.
a key issue. So
Yeah.
if you are potentially interested, this is a good one to pick up. And I loved every story. My favorite is by far the opening story, which is Mariko Tamaki doing Cassandra Cain. It was just like a really good character study into her and her relationship with words, because she is a character who wasn't taught how to speak; she was taught how to fight
Yes.
instead. And
Yes. She's not the character in the Birds of Prey movie.
yeah,
They should have just made that a different character.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. But this was a really good issue. Yeah, I loved it. This was 100 pages and a joy to read from start to finish, except for the Robin story, which is only like 3 or 4 pages. It's fine.
We do have a couple of the Art Germ covers left. As always, he does great work on those covers.
Tony says that the 1 in 25 variants are going for some big bucks.
Yeah, they're going for like $80.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. All right.
Want to get to the reason people are here?
Sure.
I thought they were here for your sparkling
Back
personality.
issue. No, people want back issues. I it's all good. You can go right here.
Start off with Tales of Suspense number 86. Got that graded at a 5 for $15. Quite possibly the very greatest action issue of the year.
Impressive.
What's your favorite issue of Tales of Suspense, Paul?
The suspenseful one.
Fair.
Issue 88 of Tales of Suspense, graded at a 7 for $30, featuring the Swordsman. Yes, it's Swordsman.
Swordsman. Does whatever a sword can. He can
We've got
stab, he can throw.
2 copies of Wolverine number 1, the first in the ongoing, not the first in the miniseries. Got one graded at an 8 for $30. And we've got one at a 6 for $14. And it would be higher, but the back cover is a little rough.
Christian wants one of them.
Okay.
We're figuring out which.
Isaac Calero is here. We got
Oh,
Isaac
I haven't seen Isaac in a while. Hi,
No, we have
Isaac.
not.
Christian would like the 8.0 Wolverine.
There you go, Christian.
Enjoy, Christian.
Next up, we've got Detective Comics number 380, rated at a 4 for $12.
Looks sweet.
No, Batman, it's not true. It can't be. You better believe it, Robin. That's the way it has to be.
Is that your gravelly Christian Bale voice?
That's just the way Batman sounds.
Oh,
What startling shock awaits the dynamic duo and you?
Dum, dum, da, da.
bunch of dorks.
This is
Rose hates me. This is true.
There it is. This was a fun one because this is a Peril publication. Not a Marvel, not DC, not Charlton, not Red Circle.
Thanks, Tony.
Thanks, Tony. This is from 1953.
Oh, that's awesome.
I've got it graded down to a 2 because it is in rough shape for $15. Don't normally do war books on here simply because people aren't interested in them, but I thought this was really cool coming across one of those much smaller comic book companies. Peril. I don't even think I've
Odds
ever
in
heard of it.
hell. Hero fever.
Now we're going to start. Tony, you paying attention? We got a little run of Deadpools. This is a 1 in 15 variant for issue 521 of the Uncanny X-Men. And it's fun because there's another cover for this issue, which is just Magneto doing that meditative stance.
Oh, that's amazing.
So this is like off to the side.
There's the first issue of All New X-Men has a similar thing where
Mhm.
it's the normal version of the cover, and then there's a variant that has Deadpool interrupting it.
I've got that at a 7 for $20.
Tony says he has them all.
Damn it, Tony.
I'm not surprised. All right, we've got Wolverine 155 with that awesome homage cover, graded at 7 for $12.
Something like just that's a Liefeld cover, right?
I believe so.
I was gonna say
his face is all
because
scrunchy.
Deadpool's face just looks awful.
Yeah. And then we've got issue 88 of Wolverine, the first fight between Deadpool and Wolverine.
Oh, that's very cool. I love how the swords are in an X.
Yes. I've got this graded at a 6 because there are some spots on the cover. I don't know if you can see that right there. And then, like, the back has, or no, there's some discoloration in some of the pages. Overall, the spine is good and the edges are clean. It's just a couple little things. That's $15. We've got the second appearance of Deadpool, X-Force number 2. It's graded at an 8 for $15.
The Blood Hunters.
I think that's the first appearance of Kane, too, isn't it?
Garrison Kane, yep, also
Yep.
known as Weapon X.
That sounds
maybe
right.
one of the Weapon X's. How many Weapon X's are there?
There's
At least 11.
There's
13 maybe.
no, there's way more than that because Grant Morrison retcons that it was not Weapon X but Weapon 10.
Right.
Wolverine was Weapon 10,
Yeah.
so
Mm-hmm.
there's way more. Captain America being Weapon 1.
Then we've got the third appearance of Deadpool and the second appearance of the real Domino.
Oh, that's neat.
Who was that was faking us out with?
Mimic,
Mimic?
known as Vanessa Carlyle, who is kind of sort of Deadpool's girlfriend in the movies. The name's on purpose, but not really the same character.
I've got this graded at an 8 for $15.
Look at that foot. Just look at that. Those are amazing feet.
Are they Rob Liefeld feet?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, copycat.
Thank you, Tony.
I got her confused with the character who impersonated Professor X and then died of cancer.
So these are two covers that I've never seen before, and I think this is really cool. Christian pulled these for us. It's a 2-issue Punisher crossover. And on issue 54, we've got a cover by Steve Dillon, who did the interiors, was doing the interiors for Punisher at the time.
Ugh, I hate that. I feel bad because he's dead, but I can't stand that he drew like the same face on every
He
single
has
character.
the same face on like everybody.
It's his face. Did you know that?
No.
Like, it's Steve Dillon's face. All the women and all the men look exactly like Steve Dillon and all of Steve Dillon's stuff.
And then we've got 55 featuring the amazing artwork of Tim Bradstreet.
I love Tim Bradstreet.
Yes. So who was doing, in case you didn't know, who was doing all the Punisher covers at the time. So you've got the interior and exterior artists for Punisher.
Yeah, I definitely like that
What grade is that?
cover a bit more.
This is a 9. We got that at $25. Now we're going to fill in a couple spots. What do we got here? I'm going to fill in spots with Master of Kung Fu number 60. Graded at an 8 for $6. It's a really good Doom face.
Yeah, the best Doom faces. There's nothing quite like him.
And then we've got Master of Kung Fu number 100, graded at a 9 for $6.
Tony is going to claim whatever he was talking
I can only assume that it's that last Deadpool. Because that's what he has the grade on.
Okay. This one, Tony?
Let us, when you say claim, let us know which one.
Yeah, please don't just say claim. Say claim issue.
We're gonna get letters soon. I'm working on
We'll see for now. Yeah, the Dylan cover.
it. Wait, what's the Dylan cover? That's the other one.
That's the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Jeff Baker wants both of the Kung Fu's.
Hey, Jeff's here.
Hi, Jeff.
Enjoy, Jeff.
I was just talking about you earlier, Jeff. You gave me some of those X-Men graphic novels.
Yep. We got a couple copies of Web of Spider-Man #1. These things keep popping up.
Mm-hmm.
I've got one graded at 9 for $25. One graded at 8 for 20.
Sweet. Do we need more filler?
Yeah, add me one more, please.
How about you condense those because this is a pair.
Fine. I'm gonna do another two-parter, which we've had on the show before. We've got The Flash, issue 323, rated at a 7 for $15, and then 324, rated at a 6 for 10.
How much are the two Web of Spider-Mans?
One is 25 and one is 20.
For Joe Isaac, I'll do that. Joe Isaac wants both.
Enjoy, Joe. Or enjoy, Joe Isaac.
If I can find his
It's under hold.
So then we'll fill in that gap with Superman #215. Remember when comic books were lighthearted and fun?
Yeah.
Daddy, will we ever see Mommy again?
Maybe.
That's graded at a 6 for $18.
I just need to turn this around. Okay, that's going to get claimed the second we go to that.
So let us know if you have any questions about any of these books.
Mm-hmm.
We'll sit on them for a minute.
Anthony needs to wake up.
So when did Deadpool start getting goofy?
It was in the mid-late 90s.
Yeah, it was
Joe
Joe Kelly.
Kelly around.
Yeah, it was that.
Yeah. This was genius.
So it's kind of like if it was a 2-hour movie, he was like serious and dumb for the first like 10 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
and then he was like silly and goofy.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Not that he's dumb, Tony. Don't get mad. He's just better when he's funny.
Yes.
Hmm.
All right. Now we head over here.
We can do that, sure.
Alrighty. First up, we got Alpha Flight number 51. This is the first full Marvel interior art of Jim Lee. So if you are a big 90s art fan, this is the first Jim Lee at Marvel. We have this at a 7 for $13.
Yeah, take that.
And it's part of a very good run of comics, the post John Byrne Alpha Flight.
So he didn't do the cover then.
Correct. He just did the interiors. However, it's not the only Jim Lee comic we have over here. We have the Uncanny X-Men 248, which is his first X-Men issue. And also, I think this is the issue where Storm dies, so that's fun.
She gets better.
Yeah, like almost immediately.
Who's on the roster at that time?
So this is the Australia team. So this is going to be Colossus, Havoc, Psylocke, Rogue, Dazzler, Longshot, and Storm. And Wolverine sometimes. and then Jubilee's hanging out in the rafters.
Sure.
In the Reavers.
She's just like eating random food that she finds when the X-Men are busy doing other things. It's really weird. Okay, so now for the issue I had to put backwards because someone was going to claim this right away if I didn't. Je vous présente l'Uncanny X-Men 266, le premier full appearance de Gambit.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
This is Uncanny X-Men 266. The first, it's debatable, appearance of Gambit. We have this at a 6 for $25. Considering that the higher grade copies of this go for like 80, this is a pretty good deal if you're interested in this issue and don't want to fork over $80.
C'est vrai, mon cher.
Tony's gonna take that.
I had a feeling. See, this is why I put it backwards, so that people wouldn't cut me off.
Very good introduction.
Oh no! And then Christian wanted it a minute later.
Oh no. Sorry, Christian. I'm sure we have like 4 copies of this.
Yeah,
We'll
I need
find
one,
you
I need
another
one
one.
too if we find another low grade or lowish grade. Next up, we have X-Men number 30. The Warlock Wakes. This is not either of the Warlocks that people are familiar with. Like this is just some random dude with laser blasts. But it's cool. It's Silver Age X-Men. I forget if this is before or after Roy Thomas takes over the book, but it's neat. We have it at a 4 for $25. It's not, it's not great condition, but if you just want some random Silver Age stuff, it's cool.
Silver Age X-Men.
And let's
Collectible.
replace that gap for Gambit with World's Finest number 174. Please go ahead and kill us. We insist. Yes, both of us must be executed at once. We defy you to guess the secret of the Double Death Wish. What a weird cover.
Yeah.
Was that the original name for Death Wish 2?
We have this at a 6.5 for $25. And it's worth noting that this is a Neil Adams cover.
I think that's one of those Superman is a dick issues because he knows the bullets aren't going to hurt him.
Probably.
He's convinced Batman to go
No,
in
come
there.
on, Batman. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. Alrighty. Next up, we have Strange Tales with Nick Fury and Doctor Strange. And this is Kirby and Steranko do this.
I love
This
his
is
shirt with
153?
Nick Fury. He's like Jim Kirk.
Is that... That's not Valentina, is it?
Does she have a streak in her hair?
I don't see one. No, I think this is just some random blonde girl.
Okay, yeah, she's not blonde.
I want a gun like that. That is a
Kirby
stylish
guns? It reminds me of how, like, the Justice League cartoon, because of standards and practices, all the guns look futuristic. Alrighty, next up, we have Superman number 143. In this issue, Bizarro meets Frankenstein. People think you ugly, Frankenstein, but me uglier than you. Me get rid of you, so world know me is the best monster. Help, Superman! This Bizarro super creature thinks I'm the real Frankenstein monster. I'm only an actor hired to play the part. Okay, I love this. This is very charming. We have this at a 3 for $45.
It's weird DC books from the 60s.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Next up, we have Amazing Spider-Man number 77 with Lizard and Human Torch. We have this at a 4 for $18. This is not a particularly special issue, but it is a cool one, and I love the cover. Oh my god. Next up is The Amazing Spider-Man number 58.
Yes.
To Kill a Spider-Man. Wow, look who's back.
Robo Jameson.
This
I
is
think
a
that's the
disturbing
first
cover.
appearance of the Spider Slayer. Is that right?
Maybe. It might be. Did the book
Didn't specify.
Okay,
Eric, did you read this week's Spider-Man What If?
I did not.
Okay.
Is it related to this?
Yeah.
Okay. See, I most recently encountered the Spider Slayer in Spider Girl when she travels back in time to that issue.
No, the Spider-Man What If, it's what if the
Peter just
symbiote took Peter over?
Oh, that one. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought like it was an actual what if issue, not the spider shadow.
It's like what if in the
I
corner
think it might
saw
be
it
the
felt
second.
like it.
Okay. Next up, we have Amazing Spider-Man number 48. The Vulture's back, and Spidey's got him. But actually, this isn't Adrian Toomes. This is the first appearance of Blackie Drago, the second Vulture. Yeah, it's not a great name. It's especially weird because he's a white guy.
I'm also just
So
like,
is-
what's with his back? It looks like his butt goes all the way up.
Oh, you're right. That's horrid.
That's the way vultures look.
So we have this at a 1.
That's anatomically correct.
We have this at a 1 for $10. So this isn't in very good shape. But if you're interested, it's cool. And next up, we have a trio of flashes. We have 225. We have this at a 5 for $13. This features Green Lantern and the Reverse Flash. It's worth noting that the top staple is off the cover on this one, and that's why it's a 5. But otherwise, it looks to be in pretty decent shape.
Mhm.
So that's cool. Let's go Reverse Flash. Now that Green Lantern is under arrest, you are my new crime-fighting partner. A full-length spectacular. Green Lantern, master criminal of the 25th century. Yeah, that sounds about right. Hal Jordan is kind of a jerk.
Being a jerk and being a master criminal are two different things.
That's fair. Guy Gardner would not be a very good criminal. Next up, we have 233, which is another Reverse Flash issue. Now that I've taken the Flash's life, I'll take his wife. Oh, that's...
That's creepy.
It's rhymes.
Yeah. Hi, honey, I'm home. Deadly secret of the Flash. Is the deadly secret that Fawn is trying to do awful things? Is that it?
Creeper.
No, Creeper's not in that issue.
Yeah, that's Steve Ditko. And lastly, for this trio of flashes, we have 237. Let go of her, Flash, or Earth dies. I don't care. My wife is coming with me. The 1,000-year separation. We have this one at a 6 for 10. This was like a weird period for Flash books, huh? Just for DC in general.
Pretty much all periods are weird for Flash.
Why is he always in a race?
That's what he do.
All he do is run fast and lie.
Like he could go in like a big hamster wheel and power cities.
Like in Dark Knight Returns. He's forced to do it against his will.
I wasn't a
Spoiler.
huge fan of the Nolan movies.
The Nolan movies.
I liked that
The
joke.
Snyder movies? Any of them?
I thought it was a good joke.
All right, where are we? Did we leave that there? Nobody's talking.
Yeah, I didn't
Where's
see
that?
those.
Did-
Like the
Anthony
Justice
fell
League.
asleep.
I hope he did so he can have a good nap. He seemed tired. It's Paul time.
All right. We got a New Mutants 86, graded out of 6 for $15. First Rob Liefeld art on New Mutants. Also, first teaser cameo appearance of Cable. And it is a Liefeld McFarlane cover.
Yes. This is the beginning of the end for the New Mutants.
Dun, dun, dun.
That, like where he's grabbing his ankle there is like he's really crushing it.
Also, who can remember the name of that New Mutant?
Fire Fist.
Yes. I'm sorry. It's such a bad name, and I love it. Louise Simonson is a treasure, and we don't deserve her.
All right. We've got 2 copies of X-Men #1, the fold-out cover. We've got one at a 9 for $15, and then one at an 8 for 12.
Yeah, not the best X-Men one, but a good X-Men one. Claremont's third to last issue.
And Christian is going to claim the New Mutants.
Enjoy, Christian.
Thank you, Christian.
Let's fill that in with some Silver Surfer.
Let's fill that in with a shiny, shiny Silver Surfer number 100. Look how pretty that is. This is a wraparound cover with Mephisto on the back. This would be a really cool cover to have it like flattened and just frame the whole thing.
Mephistopheles.
We've got that at a 9 for $10.
Israel is going to claim the Simpsons book.
Okay.
What were you thinking?
That is a 9 for $15.
We can talk about this film when we get to it.
Next up, we've got Star Wars Tales of the Jedi Dark Lords of the Sith Ashcan edition. If you don't know what Ashcans are, they're kind of previews of upcoming issues. So this was a promo copy. Got it graded at a 9 for $12.
Israel's also taking Silver Surfer.
And Tony is going to claim the 2099. Need to start doing those black things.
That's why I had that one issue turned around.
So we're going to fill that in with Daredevil number 124, which is the first appearance of Copperhead. Not the one Copperhead, but the other one, Lawrence Chesney.
I didn't actually know that Marvel had a Copperhead. I am only familiar with the DC
Yeah,
one.
Look, you see, he actually has a copper head.
Oh, so he's like Black Mask, but
That's like the
copper.
weirdest pose for Daredevil.
Is his spine broken?
Oh, he's got like,
We'll get to that one.
he's got like a Paul elbow or something.
Next up,
Christian, are you claiming that, or are you just mentioning it?
Captain America 307. This is the first of Mark Grunwald's epic 8-year run on Captain America. It is also the first appearance of Madcap,
One of
who,
my favorite villains.
who is rumored to be in Deadpool 3.
Really?
Yes.
Because Madcap is kind of like Deadpool.
Got
You
that
got it, boo.
at a 7 for $20. Who just claimed that?
Christian.
Christian.
Good job.
Yeah, Madcap is like, he can break his bones and everything, and
Uh-huh.
he doesn't feel pain. He's got a gun that makes you nuts.
Okay.
Like a bubble gun.
That's Tony's favorite character.
Possibly in Deadpool 3. Daredevil 105. Graded out of 4 for $13. This is the first appearance and origin of Moondragon.
Ooh.
It does have, overall, it's in very, very good shape. I would otherwise grade this at a 7, but it's got a water spot on the back with a strip of tape as well, just on the back cover.
Honestly, if no one else claims that one, I might, because I love Moondragon.
First costume, which was for Alan instead of.
We've got the last pre-crisis Superman.
Whatever happened to the Man of Tomorrow?
He was written by Alan Moore
This is true.
in a very sincere and touching story.
Yep.
Alan Moore isn't all cynicism.
And tentacles.
Tentacles. We got this at a 6 for $8. It's a classic.
That's a man who doesn't know what's about to happen.
Yes.
We got Incredible Hulk number 114, graded out of 4 for $10.
I love all the old Hulk covers. Ooh, is that the Mandarin? Who's that guy in the green suit there? Who is that?
What, this guy?
Yeah,
I forget.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Or that guy?
the other guy's the Mandarin.
To New Warriors #1. The greatest superhero team of all time.
Give or take a couple dozen.
Oh, come on. How can you say that about the team with Namorita?
They're like 2 steps below the Great Lakes Avengers, in my opinion.
Damn, that's mean.
So we got that.
I love the GLA, but
Out
damn.
of 7 for $8. Gonna hit a couple Harley books real fast. This is Harley Quinn #57, the variant cover. It is the Tedesco cover, which was accidentally credited to Frank Cho.
Weird.
So it's credited to Frank Cho, but it's Tedesco's cover.
Huh.
Jeff Baker says that's the Sandman in the whole cover.
Interesting.
Interesting. Got this graded at an 8 for $20. It's also the first appearance of Miranda, character from Starfire's home planet.
That sounds right, yeah.
And then here's another Harley cover. Harley Quinn, Our World's at War. I didn't read the series when it came out, but I was excited for it because I love Jay Lee's artwork of that era. So I was very excited when this showed up. That's just really cool. I love Jay Lee's
Me too.
art of that era. I'm not sure what he's been up to lately,
Our World's at War is a weird one.
but that's a 7 for only $8. Really cool cover.
What's the issue number of that Hulk?
Hulk is 114. We've had a lesser copy of this on the show before, which we have sold. Batman #183, the second appearance of Poison Ivy,
Oh, that's awesome.
which I put it next to Harley Quinn on purpose.
I appreciate you, Paul.
I was lying. I've got that graded out of 6 for $45. So it's in pretty good shape. Lastly, for this shelf, we got Amazing Spider-Man #38, rated at a 4 for $50. This is the last Steve Ditko Spider-Man, and it is the second cameo appearance of Mary Jane.
What an end of an era and the beginning of a new one. I didn't actually realize that her first full appearance was after he left.
So we'll sit on those for a minute.
We're speeding right along. It's only 8.
See? Half an hour. Still got
You
stuff
want to
to look
do?
at.
Oh.
Well, so we can hold on these for a second. So X-Men #1. Why is it #1 and not a continuation of whatever?
So they started a second series. So Uncanny continued, but this was the age when people were going nuts for X-Men. This is when X-Men were probably at the apogee of their popularity. So you had 2 teams and 2 books because there were also just so many characters that it was hard to juggle all of them in one book.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when you had the blue team who were in Uncanny and the gold team who were in X-Men.
How many copies did this book sell?
500,000.
No, it was several. It was a couple million. It is the highest selling book of all time.
I think Brian was just talking about this cover.
Oh, okay.
No, I was talking about
And speaking
like
of
all the covers.
Speaking of that cover, though, if you, like me, are excited for the new X-Men team, they're doing this again. They're doing all the covers with the whole team.
Yeah.
And
Connecting cover.
each individual X-Men character is being drawn by one of the group of artists that Marvel has called the Stormbreakers. And I like all of them except for the Rogue. Patrick Gleason could have maybe not been as gross with that Rogue.
Oh, is it all like stringy, like the webhead ones?
No, it's
Okay.
Is it revealing?
no. Her spine looks like it is shattered.
Yeah.
Maybe that's her new superpower.
Yeah.
X-Men #1 sold 8,186,000 copies.
No comic before or since has ever done that.
right here we've got Venom number 150, an oversized spectacular, rated at a 9 for $10. Rated at a 6, we've got an awesome glow in the dark Venom, The Enemy Within Part 1. I believe this was just a one shot to begin with. Glow in the dark for only $7. The only reason it's a 6 is because it has some, unfortunately, some splotches on the front cover, which you can't. It's annoying.
What are you claiming, Isaac?
What do you guys think of the trailer for Venom?
I liked it.
I like it as much as I like the first movie,
Yeah,
which is adequate.
I personally liked the first one. I didn't love it, but I enjoyed it more than I expected it to.
I do like how tenderly Carnage appears.
Mm.
Masters of the Universe number 1, not the first volume, which was DC, but this is the Marvel era. Got it graded at a 7 for $15. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe some of our 80s kids can let me know, but I think this is when they first go into Hordak's backstory. I think this is the first time it gets fleshed out.
Tony is going to claim the Masters of the Universe.
Okay.
Enjoy, Tony.
I had a guy bring in, remember those comics we saw earlier this week that the guy had like all the Thundercats except for number one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was really super excited when I was handed this, and then I realized it wasn't what I hoped it was. We got Fantasy Masterpieces number 3, a reprint of Silver Surfer number 3, the first appearance of Mephisto. So it's almost there.
It's a good reader copy.
It's graded at a 7 for $13. Mephisto's the best character design. So cool.
He looks awesome, yeah.
And then we've got a couple copies of Daredevil number 196, which, I mean, it's the first appearance of Darkwind, someone I don't know, but it's just a great cover.
I think Darkwind is one of the ninjas, right? Or is he...
It's also got some Wolverine. Yeah, I think he's probably one of the hand. Was this?
Oh, no, Darkwind is the guy that like puts Bullseye back together.
Okay.
Weird.
And lastly, from my side, we've got Daredevil number 254, which is the first appearance of Typhoid Mary.
Love me some Typhoid Mary.
It's graded at an 8 for $20. I was really excited, and on the Netflix shows, like, they start to introduce Typhoid Mary before she's typhoidy, and then, like, you know, they all got canceled.
Yeah, but apparently Daredevil's going to be in the new Spidey movie. Or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, apparently they're bringing some of them back.
Kristen's right.
It's-
Wolverine is like 5 foot tall.
It's forced perspective. Maybe.
And really, his claws would like tear right through that shirt. There's no way that they would just hold it
All right, we'll do my
up.
side
If
over
it
here.
was real.
Well, the tops of those aren't sharp.
Next up, we got Fantastic Four number 130. This is the second appearance of Thundra. We have this at a 7 for $15. I'm not super familiar with Thundra. Anybody want to fill me in?
It's a strong lady named Thundra.
I think it's Thundera.
Fair. Following that up, we've got. I'm going to do these two together because they tie into each other pretty well. We've got 131 and 132. The first cameo and full appearance of Omega, the Ultimate something.
Alpha?
Oh, Ultimate Alpha.
The Ultimate Alpha. Omega, the Ultimate Alpha.
These are both 7s for $25. The reason they're 7s is because there's some ink on them in case it's not visible. But otherwise, they're in quite nice shape.
Is it just somebody wrote on them? Or is
No,
it,
there's like little ink spillage.
Oh yeah, well, that's from the store.
Yeah.
That's the storing stuff.
That's unfortunate. But cool issues nonetheless. Next up, we got issue 133. You struggle in vain, thing. What hope can a puny man have against the power of Thundra? We have this one at a 6 for $15.
And isn't she the villain in
No.
She-Hulk movie?
No, Titania. She's the rumored villain in the She-Hulk show.
Well, the one other than the Abomination.
Well, we just know he's not rumored. He's in it.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we've got Fantastic Four 142. This is the first appearance of Darkoth the Demon, and the top staple is loose from the cover and the first page, but is otherwise intact. So this one's a 6 for $10. And lastly, for this rack, we've got Fantastic Four 147 at a 7 for $20. And this is just everyone beating up Namor as is custom, because Namor is a jerk. He's the king of Abslantis.
Okay.
Well, today I came across a few boxes of the classic magazines as well as the old Marvel and DC graphic novels. So we'll start from the bottom on these.
Yes.
Vampirella number 5, which I was excited to come across. So I've never come across a Warren Vampirella. It's always been Harris or
That's so cool.
one of the many other companies that has owned her rights. It's out of 5 for $24.
More in comics being where Louise Simonson got her start as an
Nice.
editor for them.
Let me go over there.
Yeah, next up, we have Star Slammers at a 7 for $10.
Not Star Jammers.
Yes, this is Star Slammers. This is something different. In fact, this was Walter Simonson's final art school project that he then shopped around to Marvel.
And it is also Marvel graphic novel number 6.
Who is it that currently holds the publishing rights? I know it's not Marvel.
For Star Slammers, you mean?
Yeah.
I would probably guess someone like IDW or something.
Yeah, it was I want to say it was either IDW or Dynamite.
From DC's science fiction graphic novel, the first of the series, from Robert Bloch, the man who wrote Psycho. Hell on Earth. This is the first DC cover for Bill Sienkiewicz,
Oh, that's awesome.
and it features interior artwork by Keith Giffen.
Oh, what a combination.
Yeah. And that's only $12 for an 8. It's in beautiful shape.
Star Slammers is owned by IDW.
Okay, that makes sense.
Controlled by IDW.
Next up, we have The Futurians, Marvel graphic novel number 9 by Dave Cockrum. This is just some classic Dave Cockrum stuff.
It looks like an X-Men book.
That looks a lot like Dark Phoenix right there. Just, with red hair, with Binary's hair.
Yeah. Does anybody know if this is the only Futurians or if there was more?
I don't know.
Because I'd never heard of them until I came across this today.
This outfit just looks like Gladiator.
Yeah.
I love this, though. This is so cool. We have it at a 9 for $15.
Next up, we've got Marvel Preview Presents number 14, which happens to be a Star-Lord issue. It is the 3rd appearance of Star-Lord. We got this rated at a 9 for $45.
Next up, we have Marvel Preview presents Blade the Vampire Slayer. Wanted for Murder, a novel-length tale of terror. We have this at a 6 for $25. Just cool cover, cool stuff. God, imagine getting this for $1.
I know. And lastly, is this the last one we have? Oh my goodness. We've got the Tomb of Dracula #2 in a glorious 8. I've never seen a Tomb of Dracula higher than a 6 because everybody just read the crap out of them. We've got this for $60.
All right, so I'm gonna.
Calm yourself.
We're gonna do one and then the other two for these last three because these are exciting. So first up, we have the New Mutants, Marvel graphic novel. Yeah, Marvel graphic novel #4 at an 8.5 for $130. This is probably one of the most important, in my opinion, of the Marvel graphic novels. It introduces
It's
three of
they're
my
all
favorite
first
characters.
appearances for
Yeah.
the most part, right?
Everyone except Karma.
And Professor X.
Well, yeah, because Karma first appeared in Marvel Team Up 100.
Yes.
But it's got Danny, it's got Rain, it's got Bobby,
Mhm.
it's got Sam. Like 4 of my favorites.
I mean, in my short comics retail life, I've come across this a few times. I've never seen one this nice.
Yeah, this is like the best shape I've ever seen one in. Speaking of my favorites,
Your favorites?
Paul found some very exciting things. There's 2 of them. I'm gonna go in reverse order of
Reverse
excitement.
order.
So first we have Captain Britain #2. This is some of the first Marvel UK stuff I've ever held in my hand. Because it's hard to find over here. This is the second appearance of Captain Britain. Unfortunately, this copy is missing the boomerang, but it is at an 8 for $50. This was originally 10 pence, so that's fun. Staff against sword, hero against villain, in enchanted combat to the death.
It's a Kirby cover of
We've got to get through this.
And lastly, Captain Britain #1. I've held some really cool books. I think with the exception of X-Men #1, this is probably the most excited I've ever been to hold a book. Captain Britain is one of my favorite superheroes. Marvel UK stuff has been very formative to me as a comic reader, so it's awesome to finally hold this in person. Also featuring the Fantastic Four and Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Unfortunately, this, like that one, didn't have the boomerang. This doesn't have the mask, but it's graded as 7 for $100. Marvel UK stuff does not come around very often in the States because most of it is not on this continent.
Makes sense.
But this is a cool one. I snagged 3 and 4 because they were much
We
less
did
expensive.
have 3 and 4. Still being in excellent condition, they're just worth a lot less. So they were in his budget.
Yeah.
I do have to point out that these are on newsprint,
Yes.
like actual newspaper newsprint. So to have them in such good shape is phenomenal. I was
It's
not
impressive.
expecting that.
And they're from 76.
Yes, they are. So I was excited when I found those, and I don't even care about Captain Britain.
Only 10p, governor? Why? Crikey.
So there's found some cool stuff today. I also found a whole bunch of Savage Sword of Conan, like almost like a whole short box worth. So if you're a Conan fan, let me know and I can dig some out for you. Yeah. I may end up with the blade if no one else takes it.
Truthfully, I might see if I have some trading cards I can get rid of and get that Captain Britain, but probably not.
The Futurians actually spun off into another company, Lodestone, published a miniseries on them.
Interesting.
Occasionally been revisited, but
I wasn't when I came across them. I was thinking that it was one of those '80s toy lines that Marvel licensed. but I think I was thinking of the Centurions.
That sounds right. It's very cool. Like I love Dave Cockrum, so I'm never mad to learn
Hey,
about
man,
new
it's only
stuff.
$15.
I'm legitimately thinking about it. There's a couple of these up here that I'm thinking about, honestly. I'm sure you can guess what the other one is.
Yeah, look at this.
The Star Slammers, right?
Okay, yeah, that's like. It even says from the creator of Marvel's Uncanny X-Men on it. We have a few more magazines if anyone wants to see those. Or do we want to save those?
I was planning on using them for filler if we sold any of these, but
Sterling gathered like Wolverine #1.
yes, sir. Thank you, Sterling. Thanks for joining us.
And then
John Eidson wants
John Eidson, Captain Britain #1,
Oh.
Israel Blade.
I guess that's not happening.
Same.
Both of us had our hopes dashed.
Well, it looks like we can use some filler magazines.
Indeed.
We've got Marvel graphic novel #7, Kill Raven. Got that at a 9 for $10.
John Eidson also wants, I don't know if you
The
saw
Art Germ new comic.
Yeah, he wants the art term variant of Festival of Heroes.
Gotcha.
We also have Star Raiders by Elliot S. Megan and Jose Luis Garcia Lopez.
Yes.
I love this cover.
Sterling also wants the 2 Amazing Spider-Mans.
These? Wait, which? Can you be a little more specific, Sterling? There are at least 3 of them.
Can you say what issues they are?
Yeah, so
I've got issue 38 over here.
I've got 77, 58, and 48.
So we have 77, 58, 48, and
38.
38.
18 and 13.
Dollar.
Okay.
And those are going to Sterling.
All right, so John is getting Captain Britain. These are going to Sterling.
Oh, wait. 77, 58, and 44. Is that 44?
Maybe he means 38 and 40. I don't know.
This is 58 and 77.
A 44.
Do we have a
ASM?
44?
I think we have that.
Don't have 44.
Yeah, we don't have a 44, Sterling. We have a 48. Is that what you meant?
That was a 48 and was a 38.
38 and 48 is.
48.
48.
Okay.
We got you, Sterling.
Sterling. Okay.
And then we'll fill in this with the last fill-in we got for the day, which is Fantastic Four 123, the 6 for 15 bucks.
We can fill more stuff in.
Oh, we have more fill-ins.
I should hope so.
Next up, we got Batman 179, the second Silver Age Riddler, at a 3 for 50 bucks, and Batman and Robin, or Batman with Robin, the Teen Wonder, number 236, at a 7 for 35.
Oh, it's the Riddler with the riddles.
It is. Then over here, I'm going to fill in my empty spot with Doom Patrol, number 106, rated out of 4 for 15 bucks.
Interesting books today. I didn't see you guys put those out when we were setting up.
It's because they were hidden.
Okay.
They were a secret.
Yes.
A surprise.
That Robert Block one looks like every novel
Mhm.
written in like the 80s and 90s.
It sure does. I would never have guessed that that was a Sienkiewicz cover, if I'm being honest.
Well, I mean,
Okay, no, I
Yeah.
guess that was covered by the.
I mean, he didn't do this part.
I hope
did this
not.
part.
I hope he didn't do that.
I mean, it was the '80s, so maybe he did.
It was like, we've got this great art, but let's put these giant letters on a blank page and put the art in there.
We've got this beautiful art. Let's put it on a quarter of the cover.
Yeah, right. So weird.
I think the cool thing about these DC and Marvel graphic novels is that a lot of them have never been reprinted.
Yeah. I mean, this one has, just not by Marvel.
Yeah, IDW. Kill Raven.
Although, actually, I think it was reprinted in hardcover because they did that a few times with the graphic novels, where they did the original softcover printings and then hardcover reprints
But they may have. A long, long, long time ago.
in a galaxy far, far away. So, Paul, what's your favorite of these covers?
Captain Britain #2.
That's mine, and not just because it's Captain Britain. I just honestly think it's the coolest cover. Notice the U in color.
Yes. I do think that the New Mutants is an iconic cover.
Agreed.
And I do love Frank Frazetta, but I think that this is a Frazetta cover, but I don't think it's one of his best. I mean, the artwork's great. It's just not, stunning like his work usually is.
Yeah.
I don't know. The Star-Lord one's pretty good.
Female side group covers.
I do like the Star-Lord with the sword. I don't think I have a favorite.
I love the colors on the Captain Britain cover because it's just, I don't know, it looks different than any than a comic book cover. It looks like almost it was just colored with a marker, like it's just.
It's very, yeah, I don't want to say flat, but yeah, it's not, I don't know.
It's like it was black and white and somebody colored it in before they put it out.
I mean, they did.
I mean, colored it like physically with a marker, and some Crayola markers. If you open up the back of the cover, maybe you'll see some bleed.
Cool thing about this Tomb of Dracula is that there's a behind the scenes on the 1977-78 remake of Nosferatu, filmed by Werner Herzog.
Isn't that new 183?
Yes, we do. We have it at a 6.
What about I was paying attention to stuff.
Oh, in the Tomb of Dracula, because the monster magazines were magazines, and they had the comics, but they also had like articles and stuff. And they do interviews and behind the scenes on the Werner Herzog's remake of Nosferatu.
Cool.
Yes. I like Werner Herzog. He's great.
I know you do, but
It's so weird that he was an actor on The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
That was so cool.
Yeah.
Yes. He's also in Rick and
Parks
Morty.
and Rec.
Yes.
I'm
That's
curious.
great.
I'm curious how much they spent on, like, the casting budget for that show.
So good.
I think it was just Jon Favreau saying, "Hey man, you want to be in Star Wars?" And everyone's just like, "Yes."
John's gonna take the 183 Batman.
I know, right? Like, who's going to be like, Star Wars?
We're like,
I don't know.
say claim, and then title and issue, and John's like, take that. We got you.
See, I might, depending on what it was. Like, if someone was like, show up in a Boba Fett show, I'd be like, no, thank you.
What?
I hope you know that I'm kidding. If I was asked to be in Star Wars,
Hey
I'd show
man,
up.
it's on camera. Anybody approaches him to be in Star Wars, he says no.
I
He's
said
not
it.
doing it.
I said it depended on what. Even in the joke, I said it depended on what. Listen, if they ever decide to bring Quinlan Voss into the main canon and they need someone to be a background extra, just show up for 2 seconds. I'll do it. Or if they do a marriage age show, I'll show up for like 3 seconds.
I tried signing up for. They had those things where J.J. Abrams was like, fill out this or whatever, make
be
a
an
donation,
extra.
and you can be in Star Wars.
Yeah.
And so I was like, donate. Didn't get it.
Did you ask for your money back?
J.J. he just pocketed it. I know he did.
He did.
Bastard.
He did. Spent it all
And then
on
he
Lens
ruined Star
flare.
Wars. That one guy take over.
Then he went and ruined Spider-Man. Well, his son ruined Spider-Man with that miniseries. I'm kidding. I haven't read the
We
miniseries.
should cancel J.J.
All right.
Go to bed, Brian.
Anything else from us tonight?
Well, I mean, we have a whole store full of things.
We do. Do like Jen, like do like store tours.
Is that like Star Tours, but
No,
not?
it's not
Okay.
legally.
All right, well, what time is it?
It's 8:27.
8:27.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't have anything exciting right now, so we'll save what we have for Saturday.
Where's that Namor? You want to show him? the
Oh,
Namor?
well, yeah, I forgot about the name.
That is very cool. It's weird, but cool.
Yeah, before we go, I was digging through comics today, as I tend to do, and I found this, which was awesome, right? World's Finest, number 6, from 1942. Amazing.
Mhm.
And we open it up to start grading it, and it's Namor. But it's not just any Submariner, it's number 4. So also from 1942 is a coverless Submariner, number 4.
That's
And
bizarre.
only the cover for the
And
rules.
only the cover for World's Finest, which is probably still worth $50.
Yeah, well, there are people that marry covers to books.
So if you're interested in a coverless Submariner number 4, we've got it priced at $200.
Yeah.
I just enjoy having it for the novelty of it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's complete. Did you check the pages?
Well, other Brian went through it, so I think he did.
Okay. Yeah.
So
That's one of the older comics that we've had.
It's also got a
Superhero.
backup story from the hero named Angel, who apparently has never existed before or after.
So he shows up so this is the Golden Age Angel, if it's the one I'm thinking of. He occasionally shows up in like Invader stories. It could be a different character.
He has a blue cape.
Yeah, he shows up.
Okay.
He showed up in the Invaders a couple of times. Whenever they like revisit the Golden Age, people like
Okay.
show
'Cause when Brian and I were looking for stuff, not this Brian, but other Brian, we couldn't find anything on him.
weird.
Maybe it's same character, different person, like different.
He has a twin brother, so
Okay.
that might be what it is. Because that his actual superpower was that he had an identical twin.
That's wrestling shenanigans.
Yes,
That's not
it
a
is.
superpower.
It is.
That-
You're right.
That's twin magic.
It's Earl Hebner.
Barely. Like that doesn't even qualify.
It was the 40s, man.
I'm
Well,
double jointed.
wait,
That's a
there's-
superpower.
There's two
Yes.
of
Well,
you?
the idea was that he pretended to
I'll
have
post this
super.
on your costume.
The idea was that he used the fact that he had a twin brother to like fake having superpowers.
I
Right.
know you like KGBs, so no, you do not come anywhere near the design process.
I wouldn't even consider it.
All right. Well, I believe that's it for tonight.
Mhm.
Be sure to join us Saturday morning at 11 o'clock on the Comic Book Shopping Network. So we will see you then. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Bye.